to figure out this whole meaning of life, I think, on the sideline. Charles, probably the smartest guy in the entire group there, took this day off after his medical examination on his back. And though I can't happen to tell you that, I don't think Troy didn't have almost as easy a day as Charles did.
3rd and 8. This game has the look now of a contest with about a minute to go, but there's still 11 minutes. 11 minutes.
Before the ball was snapped, number 89. 5 yards, still 3rd down.
Scott Galbraith back up tight end. Flag for that one.
Now here's something here that Jimmy Johnson is going to harp on for the rest of this week, and that is the penalty situation. Look what they've done. 11 for 95 yards. If you want a negative to dwell on if you're a coach for the week, there's your negative to dwell on after a big performance by your team.
3rd and 13. Tyrone Williams, his first NFL. He had a touchdown in a preseason game at London's Wembley Stadium. And the first-year player out of Western Ontario makes the catch and move the football into Washington territory.
And on a deep slanting pattern, a catch you'll always remember. Well, maybe always remember.
We might have lost your memory with that hit.
A shot like that.
Activated today. He's been inactive many games, but with Irvin a question mark, Jimmy decided to activate Williams, and he gets into the action. Now it's Coleman for no gain. And your thoughts on the 1 o'clock finals, Randy?
Well, you have to really take your hat off at this point. I believe to Wayne Fonts and the Detroit Lions and what they've done without Barry Sanders. To be honest, I'm very surprised they did not go in the tank. They have come around, and they are tied still with Green Bay at 9-6. There's a surprise right there. Cincinnati having the season they had, and suddenly Atlanta loses 2 in a row to teams Washington and Cincinnati they really should have beat.
2nd and 10. Kozar lost it to Williams. Oh, he made the catch, but out of bounds. What concentration. But it appeared to be the right call.
Oh, that was so good. Why don't we just give him a 1 with little brackets around it and an asterisk? Well, it wasn't inbound, but it was a great catch. Good concentration as this ball is thrown up by Bernie, and watch how much contact and how many times this ball bounces around. Off the hands, off the chest, off the face, off the hands, and caught. There's Carter. Carter's got that inside position. By the way he was on Williams there, could have been a pass interference call.
And by the time he had grasp of the football control, he already had 1 foot out of bounds. 3rd and 10. And a little too low for Harper. But a flag down. By the way, as you peruse the late scores, the Rams have lost by 4 touchdowns to Cleveland. It's a final, and Bettis finished today with 16 carries for 56 yards. So with Emmitt Smith right now at 153. That gives Emmitt a 35-yard lead for the rushing title going into the last week.
You heard that crowd reaction. That wasn't them cheering that penalty. They were cheering the Phoenix Giants score that was just showed on the board having 2 minutes to go. They're pretty happy about that. You saw Jimmy Johnson take a little quick glance because that's being followed extremely closely. And
Coleman to the 25.
You look at Jimmy Johnson and Dan Reeves going into that game next week, Jim, I think they both got what they wanted. I think Jimmy Johnson got a good performance out of his Cowboys, and he's got a situation where there's enough negatives in this game for the Cowboys for them to harp on a little bit and keep his guys going and give them that extra little juice for next week. And Dan Reeves, I don't think ever really wants to lose a game, but by losing that game, really puts his team in a desperate back against the wall, you know, down there in the, whatever that area that is you call there in the Meadowlands is out down and around there. That's a tough place to come, and it's going to be tougher with that team fired up.
2nd and 7. And Coleman, what were you wanting to call that area?
I'm never really quite sure. When we used to fly in over that, I don't know. I've heard it called a lot of things. Everything from kind of a toxic dump where the stadium was to a marsh to a swamp to you got to say one thing. It's probably the nicest sporting facility there is with the track and the arena and everything else.
Giant fans call it bucolic, that area. The Meadowlands. 3rd and 2. AG and Coleman in the backfield, and it's AG for no gain. Copeland and Edwards came up.
Here's the guy the Cowboys desperately need to be back and need Charles Haley to be playing. And it might not so much, I just see him joking with Leon Lett there. It might not be in the obvious situations, but you watch next week against the Giants, you watch in the playoff situations, even if they're playing a Giant team, when a team has to throw and a team is conscious of a pass rush, there is the #1 guy you take a look at and you find out where he is in the field. And the Cowboys need that pressure.
38-yard try. Eddie Murray right down the middle. Saw Haley douse Leon Lett for a moment from behind. Dallas up by 5 touchdowns halfway through the final quarter. They say bring on the Giants.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Lincoln Mercury and the complete line of luxury automobiles. Lincoln, what a luxury car should be. UPS, the official package delivery company of the NFL. And by Budweiser, Beechwood aged for a crisp, clean, classic taste.
Eddie Murray. Short boot. Brian Mitchell. Matt Vanderbeek and company. Bill Bates. Joe Fishback. Great special teams play here in Dallas. Rich Gannon will be coming in at quarterback for the Redskins when we come back.
U.S. Army. The Dallas Cowboys storybook season would never have ended triumphantly in Super Bowl 27 were it not for their dangerous wide receivers, number 88, Michael Irvin, and number 80, Alvin Harper. This pair of talented targets make the Super Bowl champions the best they can be.
Check this right here. This is one of 2 things on Emmitt Smith. It could be the obvious, I guess, and that'd be ice on his hamstrings, but maybe it's the money he just got for getting a heck of a lead on his rushing title.
Those were not
I've heard of money belts.
Those were not cottage cheese thighs.
Whoa.
Brooks. Miles meets him. And let's update you on Smith's battle with Bettis and Thomas, not to be forgotten. It's a 36-yard advantage going into the final weekend. Smith going for 3 straight rushing titles.
He's missed 2 games. He's in it, but don't rule Thurman Thomas out. Remember 2 things. Dallas ends with the Giants. They have a very good rush defense. The Rams end up with the Bears. They have a very good rush defense. Don't be surprised if Thurman Thomas kind of comes back out of 3rd place and grabs this thing unless one of these guys has a big game next Sunday.
2nd and 11. Gannon with Chefcoat from behind. Got it away in time. Brooks slips at the 26. 6:30 remaining.
That looked like right there. Brooks had more moves than his feet could stand. He was going so fast and moving so good. Suddenly his feet just said, "No, I can't do it."
Well, the Cardinals go to 6-9. Moore with 2 touchdowns. That's a final.
And a good chance to finish 7-9 with Atlanta down in Atlanta next week.
3rd down, Gannon check near the first. Darren Smith on the hit. Let's go ahead and adjust the standings in the NFC East.
Well, look,
go ahead, Randy. Really update it.
We'll update it, okay?
Thank you.
11 and 4. All right.
Well,
we're gonna say they've got that thing working. All right.
Try it one more time.
One more time?
Yeah.
What do you want? What do you think here? Any way you look at it, whoever wins next week has home field, and whoever has home field has a huge advantage.
That was enough for the first. Oh, that's a smash. Or you say splatter, I think. Robert Jones started at middle linebacker as a rookie on their way to a Super Bowl victory, and now has been replaced in the middle by Ken Norton.
One of the real pivotal moves made here by the Cowboys was putting Ken Norton in that middle linebacker position. And Jones has handled it well. I think he realizes he's got a future here in Dallas. It's just that Kenny Norton came in here and did the job he did, and once he started playing the way he was, there was no chance to get Jones back in.
2nd and 11. There's our new Redskin, Gregory Clifton. We mentioned he's from Johnson C. Smith University, and for the true longtime Cowboy fans, they may recall that their tight end number 84 back in the 60s and early 70s, Pettis Norman, was from that same school, Johnson C. Smith.
That was pulled from way down.
Hey.
We are not worthy, Mr.
It may
Nance.
tell you which team I followed as an adolescent. 3rd and 1. And Brooks, we got one storyline as Brooks picks up the first down. He's moving in on 1,000 yards. All right. He needs 13 to go. That gives him 77 for the game, 987 on the season. And we talked about Bettis. Be the first time a pair of rookie running backs from the same school came out their first year and rushed for 1,000 yards.
You see the talent, Rick Meyer and things like that, and these guys, Smith, the tight end in New Orleans. Why doesn't Lou Holtz win a national championship every year?
There's Gannon sliding away from trouble at the 50.
Made the point earlier in the game that, you know, about Charles Haley being a big subtraction from this team, and they need him back bad. Mark Stepnoski against Minnesota tore a knee ligament, and the word was he was scheduled to have surgery soon on that anterior cruciate, and he's crucial not having in that offensive line. I think here's a guy that has great quickness, is very intelligent. He's a guy that Troy Aikman really leans on inside there, and Frank Cornish is have a big challenge coming up to him in the playoffs.
Gannon tried to duck away from Tolbert, but Tolbert gets his 2nd sack. To Cornish's credit, though, we showed a graphic at halftime that Emmitt had accumulated the bulk of his yardage right up the middle, running behind Cornish today.
Well, the challenge Cornish is going to have, I think, is going to come on the passing side of the game. Teams like the Giants, teams in the playoffs, are going to try to run things inside that'll challenge the coordination of the offensive line inside. Frank Cornish, I'm a little prejudiced about this, but he's from UCLA, so he's automatically got to be a very smart football player. That won't be a problem. The problem is going to be picking up the stunts as a group. He hasn't been in there long enough.
3rd and 14, and Brooks gets to the 50. I guess you didn't go to UCLA, right?
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't give a Trojan that kind of compliment.
I haven't heard that all season for a Trojan. All right, we've reached the 2-minute warning. 38-3, Dallas over the Redskins.
Please be seated. The performance is about to begin. The 32-valve, 280 horsepower Lincoln Mark 8. It's like Beethoven with an attitude. Drive everything else first.
You don't need an invitation, ain't no black tie affair. Life is just a party, all your friends are there. Don't just raise a glass, come on and take a look. That's when America parties. It Cooks had a party going since 1859. Toasted decked out halls and old lang syne. When you do it this good, you better throw away the book. That's when America parties. It Cooks. When America parties. It Cooks.
Coming up tonight on CBS, it's 60 Minutes, followed by Murder, She Wrote, and the CBS Sunday movie, Broken Promises. That's Taking Emily Back, starring Cheryl Ladd. Redskins are going to punt with 2 minutes to go. 4th and 5. Why?
I have no idea why they're punting here. I mean, the best offensive weapon has been Reggie Roby, but if you want to do that, next time you get the ball back, then just kneel down and try to run out the clock.
Oh, nice play. Alvoid Mays with a volleyball spike into the field of play and down it at the 1.
I guess the only real possibility to be damage control is the flags down on the field in that illegal man downfield area. Watch the job that Mays does downfield. This is a sharp one. Inbounds, leaps, and knocks this thing back. That's a great play by Mays. I mean, that's something you can't really practice.
4th down.
But
let's do it again.
Yeah, in a situation that typifies the Redskins' day, they'll have to reload. And last time Roby had to re-kick. Kevin Williams raced back for a touchdown.
Watch the hang time of this punt by Roby. He's going to put this one up there.
Oh. Williams doesn't want to touch it. And it's Mays again.
Wow. He made a special teams play before. You rarely see the ball batted back like that. It happens a few times a year, and he follows it up by something even more impressive, timing this just right as the ball hits the ground to catch it after the first bounce. And all he does is basically say, what 5-yard penalty? Let's put the ball back where it was going to be anyway on the 1. Great play by Mays.
.138 remaining.
Look for him to put the ball in the hands maybe of the fullback. I don't think he has enough room to kneel down here.
Johnny A.G. run down by Al Noga.
Now he has enough room to kneel down.
That's right. One more time maybe, and we'll call it a game. Chance to thank our crew here, our producer Mark Wolf, and our director Mike Arnold. Father Leo Ambrose from Florida, who goes back to the Miami days with Jimmy Johnson, an old Johnson pal, and in for the holidays. So close to many of the Cowboys. Our associate director, Lance Sparrow, John Coleman'sberger, our broadcast associate, Jim Stamos on spotting, Pat McGrath on stats. I'd like to thank all of the great people here in Dallas who have helped us through the years bring you NFL football on CBS.
This is a situation Richie Pettibone looking forward to the last game of the year next week against Minnesota. Had a game go bad in a year that's gone worse.
.38-3 final. Redskins manage a field goal the first time they had the football, but would not score again. Pettibone and Johnson meet at midfield. The Cowboys now start preparing for the New York Giants. We'll be right back.
Laura Glenn is being dragged.
This is coming up next. And next week, Dallas and the New York Giants playing for home field advantage, playing for the NFC East title. So for Randy Cross, I'm Jim Nantz saying so long from Texas Stadium, where the final score is the Dallas Cowboys 38, the Washington Redskins 3. Emmitt Smith, 153 yards rushing, leading the Cowboys to victory. You've been watching the NFL on CBS.